if people had the same mentality about college that they did about trading, where it's 4 years of time and it might cost you $100,000 to $200,000, a lot more people would be successful in trading.
Yeah.
I know this is gonna work.
Yeah.
And I'm so rooted in my belief and my confidence of my abilities that I just literally don't care what you have to say because I know I'm gonna be successful. What's going on, guys? This is James Storms. I have Marquis Jordan here with me. This is the first episode. I don't even have a name for it, but let's call it the Funded Trader Experience or Fortune's Funding Experience, you know. So basically, for those of you who don't know, if you haven't really been following along, Marquis won the launch contest that we did for the first trader to make a 5-figure payout. So you ended up making what, 26,000 in
27,000.
That was in what, February, right?
No, that was in
March. It was in March. Okay, so by the time you guys acquainted, with the platform and everything, you made your first 20K. And again, part of that was the contest, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
We're here to host you in Miami, so you've been here for a couple of days. It's pretty much like your first vacation experience, whatever it is. So you're from Dallas, right?
Louisiana.
Well, originally Louisiana, living in Dallas now. So tell me a little bit about yourself. What you want the people to know about you, and then I want you to talk a little bit about like your trading background, your origin story, and then we'll kind of dive into like how you got to where you are now. So by the way, last week you made how much?
Last week I made $77,000.
$77,000. So combined with the 26 to 77, you pulled 100,000 in the first 3 months of us launching our company, which is dope. Congratulations!
Thank you.
That's super dope, bro.
So
Tell them a little bit about yourself. Where you come from, a little bit. Your background, introduction to trading, and then kind of like what type of material that you digested, and then where you are now and where you're heading.
Okay. So far, I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay.
And there's not much there, but it got by, you know what I'm saying? So I learned about Forex in college, maybe 2016.
Okay.
And I didn't have really a mentor at the time to guide me or anything like that. So, I'm throwing a few $100 in or whatnot, trying to make some money here and there. It wasn't really working out. So I was primarily focused on college or whatnot. And maybe in 2018, that's when I officially started like getting more serious about it. About Wall Street Academy, learned a lot from Q, like the overall formality, the basics or whatnot with market structure, anything. And then in 2019, I ended up taking Drew's Signal, learn and learn.
Yeah, joining his group.
Yeah, joining his group. And he broke down market structure so simple to the point where I was happy that I understood it. And right after that, it's like market structure and price action is what I mainly looked for at that point.
Right.
So at that point, I got an FTMO account.
This was when? 2018?
Yeah, this was 2018.
Okay.
And
early.
Yeah.
That was before,
And what's crazy is I had a 400K account with them.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's like I didn't
funded.
know. Yeah, funded.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do at that point because it was like that was the
overwhelming.
goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know how much to make or anything because I wasn't making anything like that. I was making like $3,000 a month or something like that, $2,000 a month.
Right.
So making that
type
of money.
What were you doing?
I'm IT. I was a penetration tester, but in Shreveport it was low pay. So
yeah, right.
But yeah, so I wasn't really making any money, and I'm trying to make 10.
This was your way out. Like this was your light at the end of the tunnel, getting closer. Like I'm close.
Yeah, and at that point, man, it was like I was making profit on FTMO, but I blew the account because it was so overwhelming because the amount of money you can make, you don't see.
Like, I mean, you're thinking in your head, wow, I have 400K, I could risk, $40,000.
Right.
Like your dollar signs ended up blinding you.
Right. And at that point it was like, man, this ain't it. Like I didn't like it. So I stopped. After I blew the account, I took a break from trading. Like emotionally, I was out. Like,
so you ended up getting paid from it, or no? It was 6K or no?
No, the 6K was when I had a 100K account with them.
Okay,
actually.
and that was when?
That was.
I didn't mean to fast forward you. But.
Yeah, sorry about that. Backtrack. I got the 100K account first, and then I made 6K, and then I was like, you know what? Let me get 300 more thousand to merge the 400.
Okay, so you got funded 100,000 initially, made 6,000.
Yeah,
which like we were just talking about before they were rolling. That was everyone that starts trading at some point, like, everyone wins at some point. They make a little money, and it kind of, like I said, it shifts your perspective. Right?
Yeah.
Like, because most people's perspective is like, okay, I'm gonna show up to my job. I'm gonna trade time for money. this is how people live and survive,
Right.
There's no cheat codes or whatever, but at the end of the day, that's not true. Like that's how people get ultra wealthy through business and commerce and trading and all these different avenues that don't necessarily directly involve you. There's investment of time for sure, but it's not like a direct hourly rate, and it's not like quantifiable like that. So
Right.
So you made $6,000, opened up your eyeballs a bit, like, wow, like, okay, this is possible.
It's real.
Like, I just made 2 months of what it would take me, 300 hours of my time to make in 2 months versus, in the comfort of my home, on my phone, on my laptop, So go ahead. So then you get funded 400,000. You lost the account, and then what happened?
Yeah. After that, I took a break at that point because it was
How long?
Maybe 3 to 4 months.
And this was still 2018.
Yeah, this is 2018.
Yeah.
So at that point, I had to take a step back and like relearn everything to see where I was missing. At
Right.
that point, I was thinking of it as a mental game, as like if I don't trust my analysis, then
Yeah, no. If
I shouldn't be doing this
you're
at
not
all.
straight up here, you can't be straight anywhere, bro.
Exactly. And at that point, man, it was like at that point I was comparing myself, if that makes sense.
To who?
To everybody. Like if I see traders, like that's why I didn't take that buy.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes, man. Like when I tell you, it stole
cool. It's
everything.
cool to look at people for. I didn't mean to cut you off. It's cool to look at people for inspiration. For at least in my own personal journey, like I've looked at people. Like when you get low, sometimes it's you look up at somebody that's up there, and you're like, okay, well, I'm low right now, but they're doing it, so like I can do it, Like,
Right.
and when you have that mentality, you can never truly get discouraged. But it also can be it can be envious, as
Yes.
well. It's what's like. Why? How does he have it and I don't have it? Like
Exactly.
what? Like and it can be discouraging at that time. So like, you definitely want to have people that you're inspired by, like in your, you're following on social media or whatever, you're digesting their content.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't ever want it to be like looking at somebody with envy, because that's all superficial shit. Like
Exactly.
just because someone has success materially, like you don't know what their life is like. So
Exactly.
like they could be miserable. So look at it as a way like, okay, they did it, I can do it too. But at the end of the day, you always have to focus on your own journey, your own steps. If you stop looking at your steps and your path, you're going to trip and fall, because you're looking at someone else that's so far ahead of you. You're like, and then you stop looking at your feet and you fell.
Exactly. That makes a lot of sense because it was to a point where, like, I got to a point where instead of trying to compete to get up there, I need to reach out. Hey, how can I get there? You
Right.
know, like I reached out to you,
Right.
maybe 6-7 months ago.
Right.
It was to a point where I saw you make $30K
Right.
into 1.3.
1.6.
One
Well,
point-
I
1.6.
started with 30. Really was 60. It was like 30. Then the next night it was really like 30 or 60.
Yeah.
It started with 30, and then I put another 30. So
Yeah.
But yeah, 1.6, bro. Like, I mean, dude, like,
Amazing.
yeah, bro.
Sick.
Like, if there's not a better trading success story, bro, like, honestly, like, just what happened, how quickly it happened, and I'm not, it just goes to show you, like, literally anything is possible, bro.
Right.
Like, you can, all right, bro, like, I see a lot of myself in you, like, with what you did. Like, making $100,000 is, like, an anomaly in the system. But, like,
Right.
if you've done it before, you're going to do it again. You know,
Right.
it's that simple. But, like I said, right now, like, you're at a high point in your career, which is fine. You can go higher. But there's always that chance to, at every point in someone's career, they have high points or low, just like the charts,
Right.
Like, if you're on an uptrend, there's going to be a higher low, like, pullback at some point.
Exactly.
But that's fine. Like, right now, you're cool to consolidate for a bit and just, like, stay up here and just enjoy the steps, bro. Like, like, 100K, like, opens you up to a lot of freedom. I know you still work a job, and, like, I know, you make good money. You make, like, 5 figures a month, pretty much, like,
Yeah.
10, 11K, so... Which is great, but now, like, once you start touching more money, it's like you don't even want to, like, you don't even want to move for a certain amount of money, bro.
Right.
Like, bro, you just made $70,000, like
And that's I
Start-
made that all in 1 week.
you want to
So-
you want to step into the frame of the person that's like, you think Jeff Bezos would show up to your job for 10K? No, of course not.
Yeah,
So, like,
right.
step into that frame of somebody that's like. Even, like, I say this a lot, is like you want to embody, even if you're not, like, if you don't have 100, like, I don't have $100 million, but, like, I could act like that. Like, I could embody everything about the characteristics of a person that's worth $100 million.
Right.
And eventually it will manifest itself. If I start moving like that, I make decisions like that, I plan my day like that, I do those things, it will materialize eventually. So, like, that's your next step, I would say, is start to kind of, like, make changes in your habits and your lifestyle. That's, like, you don't go out and spend like, $50K tomorrow. But at the same time, like,
enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Yeah, don't be arrogant, but like, yo, you did something that not a lot of people do.
Right.
And like you have talent, So like, don't forget that, no matter what happens.
Right. And another thing you point out last night, you don't have anything to prove to anybody but yourself.
Right.
And when you said that meant a lot, because that made me want to withdraw even more, because at this point it's like,
you did it, bro. Like I said, you did it. It doesn't matter what you do after this, like you're gonna make more money. Mm-hmm. But the moment you press withdraw, the moment you make that money, you secure it and put it in your pocket, nobody can say shit to you, bro.
Right.
Like, and that's like was a big struggle in my journey, because I had made 6 figures and then I lost it all. Basically, I watched 6 figures come into my account and leave my account and blow my account. You know, like this was my capital, like 100K, like liquid, not a funded account, So and I knew from experience, I was like, all right, like once I press withdraw and I have this money, like you can't tell me shit. Like it was back in 2020. I came down to Miami, similar to what you're doing right now, like first time here. I picked up my Bitcoin, like I had cash, bro. I got 100,000 in cash, bro. Like I was lit, bro. Like, So, and I was just, I rented Lambos, had some nice dinners or whatever, like enjoyed my vacation. And that's what like really shifted my perspective. Like, wow, there's so much more that I can be doing,
Right.
All right. So 2018 comes by, and then, so fast forward us a little bit, catch us up to like where we are now.
Right. So let's get to 2020, COVID hits.
Right.
At that point,
nothing happened in 2019?
Not 2019, man. 2019 was more of... Yeah, you know what? I can talk about that. 2019 was a downhill for me. Like, you know what? Like you said...
Yeah, that's more important. That's more important to talk about.
It was a downhill, man. I moved to Dallas, lost my job.
Okay.
I was looking for a job, so I was focused on...
You were still trading, or are you on a break, kind of?
Yeah, I was on and off, basically. And I wasn't really consistent, because I was trying to find a skill set to... pay for trading, basically, to help with my investments and whatnot. And I got better. Shout out to Omri. But yeah, I got better at that point. Found a pretty good paying job, maybe $5K a month at that point. And I'm thinking like, okay, cool. Like I can start.
You were in Texas at this point, or you?
Yeah, I was in Texas at this point.
Oh, you moved to okay.
Yeah, I moved to Texas at this point, and after that, like stuff started to slowly lift off, and I ended up start focusing on Drew's Learn and Earn at the time a lot more, focus on the market structure. Shout out to Derek and Sydney. We used to do, or we still do chart breakdowns every Sunday. And shout out to Mario also. Sorry about that.
Shout out now, bro.
Yeah, so we started doing chart breakdowns, getting a better understanding of
Just
it.
staying sharp.
Yeah.
That's part of it. Like I've noticed myself, like, I mean, at least when you're an educator and you have responsibility to students and stuff like that, like when you're just always, when you're teaching somebody, you're not going to teach them the wrong shit,
Right.
So like you got to practice what you preach at the end of the day. So like if I'm always, in repetition with my students, I'm going to be sharp. My blade is always sharp. I'm always sharpening the sword. So like things like that, having people to hold you accountable, having a circle of people that you like, all right, every Sunday, this is our time to just, chop it up, talk on the charts, whatever it is. That goes way deeper than people realize. Like, trading is a lonely sport, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be. Like social media, go on Facebook, go, get in a group with like-minded individuals and find some people that you like and resonate with. Like,
exactly.
You might find 100 people that you don't like, and then you find one person that like really, sets it off for you. Like I have one of my best friends, his name is Zachary. When I first started trading, I actually came across him. He was like 17 years old. And he, I just happened to, so he came up in conversation because he was like, he's young and he was a really good trader.
Yeah.
And I ended up like cold DMing him on Instagram, like, yo, like, I don't do this really. Like, I don't really like fanboy or whatever. I was like, yo, like, you're mad cool, bro. Like, you're super young. Like, I respect you, whatever. And then we ended up like, he sent me like a book to read or whatever. And then he's my best friend, like
nice.
5-6 years later, so like, and he's from Jamaica, and he's super cool people, really talented, but, we've been through a lot in our journey, holding each other accountable, always, staying in touch with each other, charts, this, that, like all that. You need somebody like that. Like, just like you go to the gym and have a training partner, it's the same thing in trading,
That's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And with 2020, bro, I'll say, 2020, since it was downhill also, well, not 2020, but 2019 was downhill, and 2020 became my uphill journey. Ever since then, I've been elevating, not only with tech, but with the market.
Right.
So what I've learned with trading in general is to know when to get out. And not only that, if you have more money in your trading account than your bank account,
Right.
that's a major problem.
Right. I mean, that's definitely something that I've done many times. At this point, it's reversed now, but there was a time where everything was in the trading account.
Yeah, man.
Which is, I mean, listen, it's at the end. I'm not gonna say like because it worked for me, right? So, but what my results may not be, may not work for you, But at the end of the day, I believed in myself so much that I was willing to put everything on the line. Like I don't care if I lose it all because like this is my way out. This is the best place for me to leverage. And my eggs in this basket, like my eggs are gonna go way further in this basket than any other basket,
Facts.
And like I was cool with losing it because like the place that it came from a place of me trying to better myself, better my situation,
Right.
So is it a little malicious? Yeah, like depending on how you go about it, for sure. Like you got to learn how to walk the tightrope at that point, Like like what I do with the high leverage, like I tell people it's like juggling knives, Like you're gonna learn how to juggle knives. You're gonna expect to not have fucking cuts all over your arms. Of course you're gonna have cuts. So, But then when you come to the party and you do the party trick and you're juggling knives, I was like, wow, look at you know how to juggle knives. They didn't see the years worth of damage and scars,
Right.
So, all right. So 2020. So you basically got acquainted. You were diligent about getting educated, right?
Yeah.
You're taking classes. You're sharpening. Because I want people to understand like. How did you get to this position right here? The position that really everybody wants to be in, bro. Like I told you, right? So, all right. So you had your turbulence, right? As everyone has in the journey. Did you ever think about quitting? Be honest.
One time, just literally one time. Yeah, in 2019.
Lost your job.
Lost my job.
Lost some money.
Yeah, man. It was to a point where, like I said, shout out to Henri. Like he motivated me, and Chelsea also. Like they motivated me. Like
shout out Chelsea.
Yeah, and
your rock.
Yes, man. Like when I tell you, at that point, it was like, man, you need to go to the gym. Take your time off that. You need to blow some steam. Because you. Like, since you feel like a failure at that point.
And that's so important that she is supporting you at your low points, bro, because, dude, there's people that will, like, even in my journey, my closest people in my family, like, I love my parents, but, like, at the end of the day, people, I don't want to say project, but they try to protect you in the best way that they know how. Like they don't know about trading. It's very uncertain. It's like they see that you're inconsistent. So like it's easy for them to say, no, this is a bad decision. You shouldn't do this, And it's important that like the fact that, like you have somebody that's supportive, like your closest people need to really be supportive. Unless you're so like me, it was like I was willing to like let go of anybody, like not let go of my parents, but I was like, yo, like I really don't care what you have to say.
Yeah.
I know this is gonna work.
Yeah.
And I'm so rooted in my belief and my confidence of my abilities that I just literally don't care what you have to say because I know I'm going to be successful. And now, we're good,
Exactly.
We're good now. But so, all right. So 2020, tell me about 2020.
2020 was a pretty interesting year because that's when I got very sophisticated, very focused on trading. Drew used to have the 3 a.m. webinars. I hop on that, man.
Drew's locked in.
Oh yeah, definitely. Big shout out to Drew.
Drew's locked in.
Him and GJ. I started trading GJ, and we have a love-hate relationship with GJ. You know.
Yeah.
And after that, I kind of branched off into my own space because I was that confident to the point where, okay, cool. I would rather rely on my analysis or whatnot because I don't want to have to, lean on somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, if you need to lean on, and kind of gain your strength and eventually you need to branch off of that.
Set a foundation.
Yeah, like learn,
Right.
Get in someone's head, pick someone's brain, learn from them, find a new person, learn something. Like even if I say this all the time, if you take one class and learn one valuable piece of information, who knows? That could be $100,000 trade like later in your career. That one piece of information helped. You can't put a price on the knowledge. Like,
exactly.
Obviously, I have an incentive to say that. And a lot of people do because we have these services and we teach and this and that. Mm-hmm. But truthfully, like, how else are you gonna get educated? Like, you can go on YouTube and this and that. But truthfully, like, if you resonate with find someone you resonate with. Mm-hmm. Invest in their time. Invest in what they've already. And have a good filter because there's also a lot of people out here that are just capping their ass off.
Exactly. We're literally saying the same thing over and over again.
And
same information.
Yeah. So continue.
So I could say this. I know 2020 was strictly Drew's course or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And 2021, I went to I think 2021 was me isolating myself because I wanted to focus on my strategy and what I felt like.
And what was your trading like results? Like were you still?
I was profitable.
Were you still in 2020?
Yeah, in 2020 and 2021, I was.
Were
profitable.
you trading prop firms?
Yeah, I was FTMO.
FTMO. Okay.
Yeah, FTMO and
no more FTMO. Not any longer, but you know.
Yeah. So at that point, I found out about the funded trader.
Okay.
And that's when I made.
Shout out Angelo.
Yeah, shout out Angelo. That's when I made like 75K. But you know me, I didn't read the rules. You know, and.
Well, basically, you told me about what happened. So basically, they changed the lot size rule on you.
Yeah.
And you weren't necessarily like fully educated at that time.
Right.
Kind of like a little gray area, but
yeah, I made 75K in like one day from Nas 100, and when the next morning, the next day after 5 o'clock, I saw those profits deducted. I blew my account on purpose because it was like. At that point, I felt like bad luck was me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I know how to trade.
Right.
Like, this isn't right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So at that point, I slowed down again. I started trading live. I'm making like maybe $1,000, $2,000 here and there, whatnot. Right. And I kept the consistency. So
that experience left you like bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah. But this is not to blaspheme on funded trader.
No, I mean it was they're without a doubt. So
yeah, I mean, that's just me not.
It was a discrepancy. You know, like I mean, listen, if like you have to understand from a company standpoint, like if they need to change a rule, like. They got, like, there's only so many ways. Like, we can't go to your house and knock on your door and say, hey, like, we're changing the rule, So they did their due diligence as best they could, send out emails, whatever they can.
Yeah. So and that's the thing.
And that's also a lesson learned as well for you. It's like,
right.
If I'm operating in this environment or someone else's environment, I need to always be aware. Like,
exactly.
Like, it's just like you drive a car every day, make sure your brake lights and your headlights and everything is good. Like, those are things that, that you have to be aware of, at the end of the day.
Exactly, and at that point, it's like, okay, Marquis, like, it's your fault because you're not reading, you're not paying attention to anything, you're just focused on charts. And that's when I got disciplined to the point where I have
sharpen up.
Yeah, sharpen up on everything. So 2022 came rolling. I contacted you because I saw how you made your money like that, the 1.6 mil, and I reached out but it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, man, like. How can I get there? Like I'm like, I need to. We need to talk. You gave me your number, got on the call, we chopped it up. And ever since then, like the rest was history. And
took the boot camp.
Yeah, I took the boot camp. Amazing. Fundamentals was like on peak now. So now I pay attention to a lot of things when it comes to that,
which is so important. Like not to like, I just really think that. A lot of traders don't like macroeconomics. Like having a really good understanding of that would help so many traders out there with just understanding like the macro trends and the higher time frame biases, and a lot of it comes down to, like I said, all the technicals that people learn and apply, they work, right?
Yeah.
But what's the problem is the lens that you apply on it every time. Like every time frame, every chart. We put a magnifying glass on it. If you have the wrong bias with your lens, you're not going to be looking at the right stuff.
Exactly.
Like okay, like I said, monthly is bearish, daily is bullish, weekly is bullish, H4 is bearish, H1 is bullish. Like there's it's trends within trends within trends. So which trend is most relevant and why? And I think that fundamentals clears up a lot of that confusion and just has you in an overall better. Directional bias,
right,
for sure.
Right. And after me and you talked, I was highly confident at that point with the bootcamp also because I was using Drew's market structure, Hugh's basic formality with trading in general, your fundamentals.
You're seasoned at this point,
Yeah, and
that's what it takes, bro. Like I'm not gonna say my class or anyone's class is the end all be all,
Right.
But if it's all about what resonates with you, and like I said, if you learn one good thing in a class, then that was a good class for you to take.
Exactly. Even on Raul's course, DTI.
Yeah.
I recently got it maybe 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And I noticed your supply and demand and his supply and demand. Like, man, ever since then, like that's how I made the money I made because adding all those things with my analysis, man, I was highly confident. I'm in there talking to Chelsea and Marcus. I'm like, it's gonna do this. US 30 is gonna do this. Like, I couldn't explain why, but it just like it clicked.
Well, you know why,
yeah. And it's like at that point it was like, like get in, get out, you know. Like knowing what you afford to
it's
lose.
just like when you know what to do, like you just execute without really much thought about it. Like I've noticed my best trades, like you don't want to overzealously get into a position, but when you see what you need to see and it looks just right, it's not even that you can't explain why. It's just like you have this extra confidence about it that's what you can't explain. It's like, why am I so confident about this? It's like because you checked off all the boxes. You've seen it's pattern recognition. At the end of the day, when you've had all these charts burned into your eyes over and over and over and over and over again, we've seen trading is all just the same patterns over and over again. At the end of the day, so like in different scenarios. So
Exactly.
so you've seen that pattern before. You know it's what's about to happen, but subconsciously before your conscious mind even recognizes it, and that comes with seasoning, and that's another part of it is like. So you started in 2018 or 2017 trading, like getting acquainted. Like, bro, this shit doesn't happen overnight, like it takes time. Like, would you rather, like if people had the same mentality about college that they did about trading, where it's 4 years of time and it might cost you $100,000 to $200,000 for intuition and, trading losses, that losses are tuition at the end of the day, right? So if people had the same mentality about college they did about trading, a lot more people will be successful in trading. It's going to take me years. It's going to take me 100, 200K. But what's on the other end of it, right? I get out of college. I got a degree. Okay, I make $100,000 a year, 150K, 200K, whatever. Mm-hmm. Or I have trading where I'm not tied into someone else's corporation, their business. They're building their dream, making even more money. Or even if it's the same money, I would be cool even just making 100K or 200K a year trading.
Exactly.
Like that's not the place to settle for. Mm-hmm. But even if I had that and all my time, the biggest flex about trading is not any of the material shit. It's literally just the time freedom. Right. And like that's also what's dope about this trip and this experience. I want you to step into that, bro. I want you to feel what it's like. Yo, like, yeah, I'm gonna just go to Miami for the weekend. Like fuck it, like that should be a regular thing for you. Like. Right. You shouldn't have to be, like I know we were talking like I'm not gonna bring my laptop, my work phone because I don't want these motherfuckers calling me. It's like, bro, like soon enough that's not gonna be a reality for you, bro.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah, that's even like yesterday when I was talking to you, you looking at me like, what are you doing on the charts and you on vacation?
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, that's a good point. Like you gotta enjoy.
Which is not. I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing. Like it's a bad thing because it's not necessary, but it's a good thing because. I mean, bro, you could be scrolling on fucking TikTok. Like whatever. So it's like it just goes to show that you're passionate about it, bro.
Right.
Like you're actually like, and that's a part of the reason why you're successful here is because you really are passionate about it, and you're passionate about the chart, not the money.
Chart.
That's the difference.
Yeah, and that's why I was explaining to my brother Marcus last night. Actually, I was telling him you have to think of it as a video game. Like you got to figure out how to beat the odds,
right?
And
yeah, I mean, life is a game, bro. Like, and anything in trading, I've said this before. It's like you ever play a game and you can't beat that goddamn boss like again and again. You fight him and fight him and fight him, and then you like, or you look up a tutorial on how to figure it out, or it's the same. It's the same strategy, like to get to the next level. It's like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Like, why haven't I gotten to that next level? Okay, let me audit myself and I didn't press the right combo, X, Y, A, B, I didn't put the stop, like, my trades were wrong. Like, it's the same mentality, the same approach. Like, I'm, because everyone has the ability to get to the next level.
That's facts.
But it's all about self-awareness, What am I doing wrong? How can I get better? Am I really utilizing my time properly? Am I really utilizing all my resources properly? Am I out every weekend? Am I out to dinner, when I'm really not like lit like that, Like you gotta be frugal. Frugality is a big, like I told you, like as much as it's cool to make a lot of money and stuff, living below your means will always live below your means until it's impossible for you to ever go back down.
Right. That's facts.
That's a big thing. Like, and that's what I want to, like, now that you made some type of capital, that's the next step is I'm going to help you disperse that capital in a way where you're set, bro. Like, because 100K can go a very long way. Like, if you position it the right way. Like I said, some of it you should be aggressive with. Some of it needs to be parked up passively whether like, she's talking about real estate and this and that. Another big part of it is spending it. Not a lot of it, like 10%, 15%, mess around with, buy yourself something nice, buy your girl something nice, take your mom out to dinner, whatever it is, because that's going to make you feel good, and it's going to positively reinforce your psychology in a way that you can't even quantify, because like, it's just going to make you want to make those better decisions, like it's like, all right, I'm up 10K, cool, close a trade, withdraw, like, because how, once you start spending the money, how much money $10,000 really is and how far it can go in your life and what it can do for you, know? Like once you start, when you're not spending the money and it's all in your trading account and it's just numbers on a screen, it's so desensitized to like what it can do for you. So that's a big part of it as well.
That's real. So that's another thing I would like to talk about. It's like the psychology of the money that you're making.
Right.
So when it comes to prop firms, or let's say this prop firm in general, when I was trading, I had to set a goal. It's not good to set goals when trading, because if you don't meet those goals, you may get emotionally detached.
You don't feel satisfied, right?
Exactly.
Fulfilled.
So I had to like discipline myself to see, okay, cool. Like I need to see my paycheck as I'm working.
Right.
That's why I'm looking at trading as working. If my profit is 10K and I make that and withdraw that the month, I'm okay with that, because at that point it's like it's another job for me.
Right.
Now when I get more familiar with 10K to the point where it's like I don't need it, okay, now I can escalate to 20K, then 30K. Right. Because if you make $3,000 and you're trying to make $20,000, for what?
Right.
Because you don't make that money now.
Stones.
Yeah, like
it's like trying to run before you can walk.
Exactly. So it wouldn't make any sense. And I think that's why most traders fail, or the average trader fail, because it's like they're trying to get so much, they bite off more than they can chew, basically.
Right, and they choke.
Yeah, and at that point it's like that's on you. So you have to notice basically notice like how much you're satisfied with.
Right.
And 20K a month I'm satisfied with.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are satisfied with that, to be honest with you. So, all right. So, let's fast forward. Like, I know we're running probably a little longer than, like, I know we want to make it kind of short. But anyway, so fast forward to basically, all right, so 20 and 21, you were mildly profitable. 22, you saw me do what I did. You reached out to me, took the boot camp. And now here we are in 23, having made $100,000. So, and all that seasoning and everything that you did basically to get to this point, and then literally this last week, you make $77,000, right? If you want to, pull out the, let them know.
Hold on.
So tell me a little bit about like how you feel right now. All right, so here, hold it up. I'll put it in the camera right there. I mean, I don't know if they can even see that, but
they can see that.
77K, and then the payout. What you got? So you got a 90% payout, right?
Yeah, so it's 69.5.
69.5 something light.
Look, something light.
Yeah, so it feels good, right?
Yeah,
how
it
does
feels
feel?
amazing.
Honestly, like if you put it into like 3 words.
Like I said before, overwhelming.
Yeah.
Unreal and exciting.
Right.
Because
like just euphoric.
Yeah, to the point where, man, when I tell you I was shaking, like I'm talking about lip quivering, trying to drink a glass of water and everything. Man, it's like I had to take a deep breath, go step outside, because it's like,
yeah, you almost don't even believe it's real. Like it's like so surreal to like the point where you just want to go to the mountaintop and scream in the mountaintop.
Yeah, man, because it's like
I made my first, bro. I screamed I was by myself. I yelled at the top of my lungs, bro. Like I was just so ecstatic, bro. I couldn't even put it into words, because, bro, like 100K is like a serious, like that. Yeah, my people might say always, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a crazy amount of money, but it's safety and security for you right now. It's like that's a whole year's worth of work. Right. That's a whole, like, my bill. You said your bills are already paid for the year, so like that's just security for you right now. Like peace of mind, bro. Peace of mind for sure.
Exactly.
So. All right, so what's next for you? Like, where do you see yourself going now? And how do you want to like take this further?
I'm thinking of dropping maybe 10K, 15K in my live account just to make,
like I said, be aggressive with some.
Yeah.
Park some up in some real estate project or something.
Exactly.
Get some passive cash flow, little renovation property, rent it out, flip it, whatever, something like that. I definitely think you should. I know you said you and your girl, this was the year that you said you guys were going to travel.
Yeah.
So you have honestly no excuse at this point, like not to travel.
Like she probably looking like, oh yeah, we better.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely find some cool spots. Like I said, like go, I mean, there's so many places to travel to. Really, it comes down to what you're looking for. But, like I like Latin America is dope. And even Europe is great. Like Italy was like dopest place I ever been, honestly.
Word.
Dubai, like there's places everywhere, bro, honestly. But all right, so talk to me about Fortune's funding. Like talk to me about like you from an outsider looking in when you first seen me like launch the company and like what were you feeling about it and like what was your experience at like truthfully, honestly, no bias, no like
yeah.
all this bullshit aside, like what was your experience like? And go ahead.
Man, so I was already profitable with the funded trader.
Okay.
I had a 400K account, and I'm not gonna lie, I blew it on purpose.
Okay.
Like because number one, I don't like trading multiple prop firms at once because psychological. It's like
different contract sizes. It's inconsistent.
Yeah, and I blew it on purpose to the point where I was like, you know what, no minimum trading days. Okay, cool.
Unfortunate.
And 21 payout, 21 days of payout. I was like, oh yeah, definitely. And then you had posted the broker.
Yeah, and then you actually get on it and see the spreads on AirFX and like, yo, it's a solid platform. Like, there's no question.
Exactly.
The prices are cheaper than everyone. We have very competitive promotions between you're getting 90% payout on your profit. I don't have to sit here and talk about it, but like, there's no question that it's a very competitive product. Like, I'm not gonna say we're the best in every single category, but we check off better categories than
it has a lot of potential to grow.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and as we grow, again, we've only been live for 3 months at this point.
That's
It's
facts.
literally been exactly 3 months. So
That's facts.
At this point, we have only more. We have only more to offer at this point. We started small, like it's better to be small and grow out than be try to offer too much and then have to shrink on people. Like, that's not my goal here. So going forward, I mean, for me at least, like just to talk about Fortunes for a second, I mean, it's been a cool experience just to see, like, bro, like imagine creating a platform and then directly like transforming someone's life.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's,
like
that's
as a owner of the company, bro, it's I don't have it just like just seeing it like I said when the moment just happens. It's tough to put to quantify like what it's like, but it's really cool, bro, because again, I resonate a lot with it because I know what it's like to make that first 100,000 trading, and it opened up so many doors for me. So, I really think, man, the sky's the limit, like for both of us, bro. Like I want you to continue to do your thing and and just just always just push yourself, man. Just really just push yourself. Like you got it, bro. Like like I said, you've done it once, you're gonna do it again. But don't be don't try to don't bite off more than you can chew, like you said. So
exactly.
My thing was I had a lot of turbulence in my career, and anyone that's my students or in my camp, like I'm gonna advise them as best I can. Is like, hey, like from my personal experience, maybe you should probably be a little more. A little more calm about your actions and stuff like that. So, cool, man. I mean, I'm just thinking about what's next. Like, really, this is what I want to do. This is the first experience that we've done. The first trip, whatever you want to call. I'm gonna have to come up with a name or something for this.
I'm definitely coming back, 100%, especially for the jet skis.
Oh, I mean, we should just hop on the skis right now, bro. Like right out the podcast. Right on the skis, bro. And we're going to go get sushi, too. Like, he's never had sushi before. So.
Oh, yeah. I had oysters. Big shout out to my father, Chris Hayes. He has a smoking oyster food truck. He makes oysters for a living. He makes oysters. He cooks oysters for a living. So, it's pretty amazing.
I had some good oysters the other day. I'm not going to lie to you. It's actually peak season right now. But, yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to get on and just, share a little bit of insight into your journey and that's what I want people to see is okay, well, this guy has what I want. Like, how did he do it? And I think the main things that comes down to is unwavering confidence, right? You never really lost. You said, I wanted to quit one time. I think everybody at some point or another feels like they want to quit. You didn't get discouraged. You had people around you that supported you. You had a circle of people that held you accountable and that you could, confer with and just to have a tight-knit circle of people that are just really always sharpening the blade.
Right.
You invested a lot of time and money into various avenues, courses, people, boot camps,
Right.
institutions,
Yeah, that was a
whatever,
lot.
you know?
Yeah.
And then and you just never gave up and you know, you made it happen, bro. I think that's what I think there's really no secret other than that. It's really just diligence, investment, confidence, and time.
Right.
The one that people really don't think about is the time. Like, and I know that people always ask me, "Hey, like, how long did it take you? How long did it take you to do that? Like, how long?" The moment you ask how long, remember. So yesterday we were sitting at the taco spot, and we ordered our food, and they gave us a little buzzer, and I was sitting to my boys. It's like my buzzer buzzed first, and I was telling them, I was like, "Yo, like, that's just a metaphor for life. It's like we know it's gonna buzz, you just don't know when.
Yeah, that's
You know your food's coming. You know you're gonna eat. You just don't know when.
and
That's
I'm like,
it.
man.
And it's like, and then what happened? What happened? 30 seconds later, one buzzed,
yeah.
the other person buzzed, and we're all eating. Like, you know?
Facts.
But you don't know when it's gonna happen. But as long as you stay diligent and stay on the path, I think that's the most important thing. You never give up. Like, no matter what. Like, I know there's a lot of people out here that are discouraged. They've blown 10, 20, 30, 40 challenges. If you never give up and you stay aware of yourself and your actions, and you look at yourself unbiasedly and really just, look inside of yourself and what you're doing every day, you will have success. There's no question.
And definitely have consistency and discipline.
Yeah, and don't continue to do the same things and expect different results.
Exactly.
Figure out what's going wrong, make adjustments.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So
Man.
I think that was solid, bro. Dude, I appreciate you for coming out here, man, and just being a part of this whole thing, bro. Like, I'm brand new. This is the first time I ever hosted a podcast. Like, I didn't really have like an itinerary of like questions or what I really was going to ask. I just wanted people to kind of understand your journey and your experience and just talk a little bit about that. But yeah, I think that's pretty solid. I appreciate you all for tuning in and watching. And this is James Storms signing off.
Marquis.
All right, guys. Thank you.